Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. I'm having another cigar. I'm having a Casa de Garcia. Why do they always have to be in some Spanish language that I can't read? No, it's fine. Casa de Garcia, Tabacalera de Garcia. I'm I'm barely good with English. uh, so it's kind of an interesting cigar. Um, Not exactly the flavor profile that I kind of enjoy, but I think I bought it for like 250 down at the local tobacconist, so it's it's good for the price. It's probably one of the better valued cigars. I know that it's like $1 more than a Garcia Vega, which um those aren't even worth smoking in my opinion. They're just they taste horrible to me. Um, so I thought today I'd give you some of my favorite brands of cigars. My top three. Well, this isn't one of my favorite brands, obviously, but kind of what I enjoy. I I love Gurkhas. I like people always say Gurkhas overhyped, and granted they probably are, but I do really love the brand. Um, one of my I think my favorite one from them is the Black Dragon, not the not the torpedo, but the special edition Tubo, which I really enjoyed when I had it. Really good leather flavors out of it, I think. Um, well, at least that's what I remember, but it's been a while since I've had one. It's been over a year. Um, then Ashton is another one of my favorites. I do love their aged Maduro, and then I also really enjoy Padrones. So yeah, Gurkha, Padrone, and Ashton are my favorites. And then Cohiba is up there too for my favorites. Um, though I think Cohiba is very overpriced for the cigar that I'm getting. Like the Cohibas down at the local tobacconists are like 16.50 for one, so I'm like, that's a little pricey. And I'd like to give you some of my thoughts on cigar smoking too, because I'm an athlete, as obvious by the vlog I released yesterday. Um, I play a lot. I play a lot of tennis, and actually, this is the shirt that I got yesterday for entering the tournament, the 12th annual Rahanis Park Open. Um, but I play for my college actually, and it's so funny the way that they kind of treat smoking in athletics, or cigar smoking at least, because you're supposed to be quote unquote role models. Um, yeah, it's how to do that air quote. Yeah, I can't do the air quotes with my cigar in my hand. Um, so role models, um, which is hilarious because you shouldn't set out to be a role model just because you're an athlete. You should be a role model just to be not to be a decent human being, but just to set a good example for others. Not, that should be your driving goal. You shouldn't have to be one because you're an athlete. Oh boy, I don't script these vlogs, so all my thoughts are kind of be jumbled. But the reason why I kind of feel it's strange that they isolate people who like smoke. Like if you smoke cigars, you can't be a role model. If you drink, you can't be a role model. And I kind of claim bullshit on that. for a couple reasons. There's a lot of pricks that don't smoke. um, and there's a lot of people who smoke that generally, like, I don't think of myself as the greatest person, but I try to be a decent person 90% of the time, and then the other 10% I'm a complete asshole. But so let's see, where was I going from that? Oh yeah, so the reason why I like cigar smoking, and I think being a role model should be more about making good decisions. And I don't necessarily say that smoking is a bad one. Now, hear me out on this. Now, all the health nuts that watch me are probably pulling their hair out at this point. And that is because what I've done is I've weighed the cost versus benefit ratio that I am partaking in when I'm smoking. So what am I giving up? My risk of health issues goes up a little bit with cigar smoking, not as much as with smoking cigarettes, but it goes up a little bit. So, and my athletic performance maybe suffers a little bit. But the trade-off, what I'm enjoying out of the experience of cigar smoking, to me, is worth it. So the trade-off for me is worth what I'm getting from it, and that's basically logical thinking. Is, you know, you weigh cost versus benefit, and you make your decision based on that. So that's why I smoke and how often I do smoke. And, you know, it's a weekend. Today's my day off. Actually, it's not really, well, it's a day off, but I'm gonna film Angry Critics coming back. I'm filming it today. I'm really, really excited. Because I know that some of you guys who watch this vlog went over there, and I know a lot of people who watch these vlogs are cigar smokers like I am. So, and I think you guys are going to be enjoying it because I'm going to bring the cigars even more into those movie reviews by, like, listing, letting you know what cigar I'm having and if I'm enjoying it or not. So, yeah, look forward to that. Should be coming out in August, because I do have to do the editing for them, and Epic Mad Science will also be out at the end of the week. It will be up the last day of the month, so 5 days from now. 5 days from when this vlog came out, not when you're watching it. Could be a week later that you're watching it. So back to my thoughts on kind of the cigars and everything. So my school that I go to recently banned smoking on campus at all. So for this movement called Smoke-Free Campus, whatever. I'm inclined to call it hippie bullshit, but whatever. Which sucks too, because my campus is right on the ocean. Yeah, I'm kind of lucky. My campus has got a nice view of a harbor with all the boats out there and everything. And I'd like to when I have free time, just sit out there and have a cigar and look at the view. It's quite a nice view. And so, and to me, this smoke-free campus thing, I kind of claim to be bullshit in terms of health motivations for doing it. Because, well, for a couple of reasons. Smoking in buildings is probably bad because is bad because the secondhand smoke really has nowhere to go, or has less room to disperse than in the open air. But in the open air, even if you designate smoking areas, that would be okay. But if you're like, I don't know, 20 feet away from a person and you're in a non-contained environment, and granted, the smoke that comes off a cigar is generally hotter, so it's going to rise. So it's probably going to naturally, see, watch. So it is rising slowly. Granted, it's slower to rise because of the. Actually, does it rise? Well, it's rising slowly. So it is kind of going to disperse more upwards into the air, and that's going to. Yeah, and I'm smoking also indoors. But the dispersion, even with somebody 20 feet away, their risk is minimum because you're talking about parts per million of that smoke as it disperses in the atmosphere. So smoking outdoors is really more of a, unless you get like 50 smokers together and stick a person 20 feet away, then they may have issues with it. But it's more, to me, I find that it's more not to say not science-based. I mean, there is. To me, it seems more like this movement to get rid of smoking, but they're not doing it the right way. No, I don't think smoking. I'm probably not going to stop smoking unless the cost versus benefit. I don't find that worth it anymore. Oh, I gotta speed this up. So, great. Now that I say that, I'm going to speed it up. I lose track of my thoughts. But the way that they're doing it is they're basically trying to make it incredibly inconvenient for you to smoke, so that way you stop. But they're not doing. But that's kind of forcing you to stop. The only reason you should stop doing something is basically evidence-based. So you shouldn't be forced to stop smoking. You should decide to stop smoking based on the evidence, and you weigh, and eventually that cost versus benefit analysis no longer tipping in that favor. So once you know all the information, like how bad cigarette smoking is for you, you should then reweigh the cost versus benefit, and then potentially realize that it's not good for you, and therefore, or incredibly not good for you, and to the point where it's not worth the cost anymore. And that's why you should quit, not because you are basically forced to. Because I'm a big believer in freedom and your freedom to choose. I basically believe that if you want to screw yourself over as much as you want, go for it as long as you're not hurting others. So that's why I believe, like, and the outdoor smoking, I think it's more of like a kind of a inconvenience posed on smokers, and not so much ingrained in science or in. Granted, smoking so far from a building, that's, the smoke could travel in there and whatever. But banning smoking over a large campus when there's many open areas away from buildings to smoke, where the smoke, even if smoke did get into buildings, it would be really small parts per million. So, but that's kind of my thoughts. Maybe you guys can maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section down below. And I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye!